All right, welcome everyone. We will call to order the regular council meeting for the town of St. Andrews, June 1st, 2026 at 6:30. Recording of attendance. I'll note all councilors are present with the exception of Councilor Blanchard, who could not be here tonight. I'll also recognize that we're on the unceded traditional territory of the Beskotomagati people. We'll be looking for a mover for the approval of the agenda. Councilor Heenan, seconder. Councilor Harland, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any disclosure of conflict of interest this evening? Seeing none. There's no presentations this evening, correct, Mr. McKinnon? This takes us to the approval of minutes of the previous meetings, and we only have the one tonight. It's the minutes of the 26/05/19 regular council meeting on Monday, May 19th, 2026. Do I have a mover for those minutes? Councilor Gumichel, seconded by Councilor Bennett. Any errors or omissions, council? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I believe that was unanimous. Okay. So communications, I'll pass that over to you, Mr. McKinnon. We have the correspondence log.
Yes, that is what we have under communications, one of three items. The first is the correspondence log for council related items. We also have a couple thank you notes. One is from the Charlotte County Alternative Transportation Association, and the other is from the Compassionate Grief Center. Both of them are thanking council for contributions through the community assistance grants.
Great. Thank you very much. This takes us to the staff reports, and we'll throw it over to CAO Spear.
Thank you, Councillor Neal. While other municipalities are able to swear in their new councils, we are in a holding pattern until after the June 22nd by-elections. That said, with the certification period only being 2 days, we will be able to swear in the new council tentatively on June 29th. If that works for everybody. Council, it has been a pleasure working with some of you since 2021 and others since 2023. For Mayor-elect Neal and Councillors Harland and Weir, congratulations and thank you on willing to serve again. For all those that let their name stand for the upcoming by-election, thank you for your participation in the democratic process. As this is likely the last regular meeting of this council, I would like to take a few moments to reflect on the initiatives that you have overseen during your time. There have been some significant challenges during your time, including local government reform and the aftermath of the changes brought about because of the COVID pandemic. Both were out of your control, but you managed well within the constraints given. While we are still living with the consequences of those, the town and her citizens have persevered. One of the top strategic priorities of council when you were first sworn in was housing. Over the last few years, a mixture of multiple residential projects have been developed, including Compass Housing, Victoria Terrace Garden Homes, and Van Horn Garden Homes. In addition, several new homes have been built, especially in Shamrock and Bayside. One project undertaken and still in process is the development of an apartment building near the NBCC campus. I hope we can see this through to completion over the next 2 to 3 years. Council also continues to work closely with the Passamaquoddy Lodge Board to make their construction of a new facility a reality. This includes an option for them to purchase property adjacent to the Champlain subdivision. One of the first major budget items was the new ladder truck. Long sought after by the fire department, it was ordered in mid-2022 and took almost 3 years to make its way to us. Regardless, it has proven to be a valuable apparatus to engage structure fires, including significantly enhancing the safety of our firefighters. Focusing on staffing, you enhance the recreation services by budgeting for a recreation manager who has started a tremendous amount of activity since his hiring. In addition, we have expanded the administrative staff with additions in finance and administration. These positions were needed to keep up with the growing demands of services, including support to recreation, housing, the tourism accommodation levy, and other initiatives. Over the past few years, Council has also undertaken to update many bylaws, some related to amalgamation, others related to evolving opinions of the citizenry. These include animal control, the garbage, noise, and procedural bylaws. One extremely noteworthy initiative was the heritage bylaw, which had been before other councils, but was finally enacted in 2024. Council also invested in the Van Horn Trail to enhance walkability in the Old Town. Efforts continue to expand the system into Shamcook and Bayside. Prince of Wales was also upgraded to provide a dedicated lane for the active transportation participants. Council also established and budgeted for a mental wellness committee, which has engaged the community through workshops and events. It has been a pleasure working with you and look forward to continuing some of the work of this council. Under services, with June upon us, many of our outdoor construction projects are taking place. Construction is starting this week on the new parking lot at Queen and Princess Royal, as well as the water main on Champlain Avenue from Cemetery to the Dead End. In addition, we will be replacing several blocks of asphalt sidewalk on Water Street from Princess Royal to Patrick. This is scheduled to start in the next week or so as well. Public Works has been busy on top of the usual duties with renovating the washrooms at the arena as well at the Centennial Park. As a reminder, the leaf bag pickup program is over for the spring and will resume again in the fall. However, the large limb program continues by appointment through calling Town Hall. We've begun enhanced blue-green algae testing at the water treatment plant. This is a reflection of recent improvements to the National Drinking Water Guidelines and not an indicator of any issues we are experiencing. The spring water bills were put out in the mail earlier today. This was the first billing cycle for the new treasurer, so she wanted to review all the steps closely and analyze the bills for accuracy. Congratulations to Ryan O'Connell, a volunteer firefighter who recently completed his level 1 firefighter course on behalf of the town. The commitment to this is significant as the course is close to 200 hours and includes a written exam as well as logged experience. It demonstrates that the training time normally surpasses the time our department responds to events. All the heritage facilities, including Sheriff Andrews' house, are opening up this week for the season. The operating hours differ a bit for each, depending on staffing levels and the funding made available from our federal and provincial partners. In conclusion, with the Farmers Market opening and Paddle Fest taking place over the Victoria Day holiday, summer is supposed to be here, but hard to believe when you see the frost. Canada Day will be bigger and better this year, with additional funding allowing us to expand it a bit. Budget time is also around the corner, so if you have any new ideas or concerns, please let us know. Respectfully submitted, Chris Spear, Chief Administrative Officer.
Thank you, Mr. Spear. And Council, you've had a chance to read the rest of the staff reports. Any questions, concerns regarding any of them? Councillor Bennett.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to just bring attention to page 35 under General Operating Fund. CAO and clerk, you reference here saving approximately $111,000 in change by getting a new insurance company. That's phenomenal. That's excellent work on whoever's behalf took care of that. But to save that kind of money for a town our size is absolutely outstanding in today's society with what's going on. So thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Councillor Bennett. Any other comments on them? If not, I'm looking for a motion to accept the staff reports as written. Councillor Heenan, seconded by Councillor Harland. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Takes us to the introduction, consideration, and passing of bylaws, finance and administration. I think we're over to Councillor Heenan.
Thank you, Worship and Council. This is FA 260639, cancellation of 260615 regular council meeting. The current council continues to operate with restricted powers until the new council can sit for its first meeting, which will take place when results are declared following results of the by-election on June the 22nd. Section 6 of Bylaw 23-06, procedural bylaw prescribes that the council shall hold a regular meeting on the first and third Monday of each month. Given the limited powers of council during this period, staff recommend canceling the regular council meeting for the third Monday in June with the provision that special council meeting will be called when there is a business to be completed. Bylaw 26-01 procedural bylaw does not include a restriction against canceling a meeting, and the Local Governance Act requires a minimum of 4 council meetings in a calendar year. And the action is that the council for the town of St. Andrews council the regular meeting of council prescribed in bylaw 23-06, procedural bylaw for the third Monday in June 2026, and that a special meeting of council will be called as necessary to conduct business applicable to the powers of the sitting council. I so move this, your worship.
Thank you, Councillor Heenan. I see a seconder, Councillor Bennett. Any questions or comments, council? If not, we will call the question. All those in favor of the motion? Say aye. Is everyone? Anyone opposed? Nope. Thank you, Councillor Heenan. So next one is Planning and Community Development, and that is Councillor Harlan this evening.
Thank you. This is reference number PCD 260604. Subject is encroachment agreement, C'est La Vie Snack Shack. Background is as follows. This is a new request for a seasonal patio deck on Water Street. These typically appear at a staff-led meeting prior to consideration. However, staff are providing the request due to its significance for a seasonal local business. Brendan McGee has submitted a request to install a patio deck in the parking area outside of the C'est La Vie Snack Shack at 157 Water Street. A draft encroachment agreement is included for council's review and approval. It provides for a length of 12 feet and depth of 7 feet. It is a 3-year agreement expiring on March 31st, 2029, prior to the 2029 season. And there is a rental fee of $300 per year paid annually. These terms were approved in March for another patio. Regarding any questions relating to the powers of council, existing bylaw 21-04 street encroachment bylaw authorizes council to approve and cancel such an agreement. See attached. And the motion is that the council approve an encroachment agreement with Brandon McGee, C'est La Vie Snack Shack, to allow a patio deck on the on-street parking area in front of 157 Water Street at a maximum size of 12 feet in length and 7 feet in depth, expiring on March 31st, 2029, with an annual rental fee of $300 under terms and conditions as set out by the CAO. And I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Harlan. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Weir. Questions or comments, council? Councillor Heenan.
Yes, your worship. I'm just wondering, seeing as the limited powers of this council, if it should just be for 1 year and then it come up onto the new council's books for as soon as possible, because we're stepping into a 3-year term with our limited powers, and I'm just wondering if that is okay to do. And I just feel that I have no problems in 1 year because that's fine. But the 3-year, we're going into other territory. That's just my only objection. Thank you, your worship.
Thank you for that. I was going to ask staff that question myself. Have the previous ones all been 3-year agreements as well?
This year they have, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You were,
So
yeah, part of it too, just sorry, Councillor Weir, was that there's significant investment for them to construct these things. And so that's the only reason we at least allow them 3 years to make back their investment.
Okay, Councilor Weir,
Yeah,
microphone.
I have no problem with 3 years for the simple reason I looked at $300 a year and I said, well, that's not much money. But then I measured it and it's 9 square meters, so $33 a square meters, pretty good rental rate. So I have no problem with giving that much for a lease.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Harlan.
I'm on. How many parking spots will this eliminate? Just one?
just one. It's about the length of a parking lot because we went out and measured with them. We actually made it a little smaller to make sure that people could, because if you get it the whole width of a parking lot, then
Right.
then people are afraid to get close to it. So you lose about a lot and a half. So Mr. McGee agreed to shorten it up a bit in order to avoid that. And then on the other side of it, there's a driveway anyway, as he
Okay.
points out. So you won't lose anything on that side of the
Okay.
structure.
All right. Thank you.
Councilor Gumshoe.
Thank you, your worship, your acting worship. Just looking at the drawing, I see it's not, we have two already downtown and they're both seem to be quite well done. This one, the drawing looks good. In the upper drawing, there's looks like people will be sitting with their back to the street. Like in the bottom. I guess basically we kind of need to have some kind of policy moving forward if we're going to continue to add seating to the street so that they'll kind of look the same. They're all the same sort of style and things. So the drawing doesn't really match up. In the top one, there's the ice cream seats, which I don't particularly love. But then in the bottom one, there's a backrest facing the street. So I'm just wondering which it would be. Would there be seating all around with the seats in the middle, or would there be benches in there? There's metal benches there, I noticed on the way up, which don't really fit in with some of the other seating on the street. So I just think that I'm open to approving this for 1 year as my colleague mentioned, but I do think moving forward, we should have some sort of general policy where the style of on-street seating like this all sort of match moving forward. So that would be my comment. So I'm okay with this, but I do think we should have a long-term plan for these sorts of encroachments.
Okay.
Thank you, your worship.
Councillor Neal, just Mr. McGee happens to be here. I know it's not normal to invite the applicants during, but if you want some clarity on that, as I know both of those are just renderings that he did probably in 10 minutes because he got to us pretty fast after he asked us about it. So if you're okay for him to approach, he
I'm
can,
fine with that. I'm guessing it'd be a pretty quick explanation. Yep.
I am flexible on so that design was actually based on the other two. Not to change it up, I basically took the same bench areas that they did, and then they had chairs in the middle. I just designed it off the same for that reason, to keep it consistent. I can certainly work with the town to redraft it. That's certainly not an issue. The design isn't our key reason why we're doing it. It's as explained in the proposal. It's more of a safety issue where we're open late at night. We have a lot of kids during that area. And the concern that we have is, even though the traffic is one way there, most of the traffic still hugs the regular right-hand lane. And when you have vehicles parked there, especially if it's a truck or a vehicle, when you have a lot of kids running across the road back and forth, it's harder for vehicles oncoming to see them, especially where there is that void. They don't anticipate kids running across the road, or even regular adults sometimes in the evenings after a few drinks running across the road. So the goal was to keep it as low as possible, to open up the site of visual. So then that way, when vehicles are coming, they're able to see pedestrians back and forth. If that answers the question. So that's the reason why the bench is around. That's the same design as the to downtown. The difference would be ours is probably going to be slightly lower, just to ensure whatever regulation heights the code will be at the time to make those bench sitting.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr.
Any
McGee.
other questions that you had while I'm here?
I think, for my 2 cents, I think what makes the other two, quaint, I guess, is that they have small tables in there
Yeah.
versus the longer sort of style tables. That would be my comment. Like, I don't really love the ice cream cone chairs.
They are still benched the whole way
Without
around.
wanting to be overly critical, there wouldn't be my choice.
Well, the reason we picked those is just because it's an ice cream shop. And if you look at other resort towns across North America, they kind of have similar seating. So we just wanted to go along with that resort style feel. Yeah. Well, the patio's built out of wood, and so is the bench seating. Tables, we can change the tables up. It's no big deal.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other comments? Council, questions? Not, will council or CAO?
Yeah, just to remind, there's some people who are looking at a 1 year agreement. You have to, if there should be a change to the motion, amendment to the motion, if someone wants to try that, I think the council's split on it, or maybe even one over to a 3 year, but whatever the case, the motion as is for 3 years. So there'd have to be amendment to the original motion in order to reduce it to 1 year.
Okay. I don't see it, so I will call the question. All those in favor of the motion as read?
3-year motion.
Yep. Okay. All right, thank you very much, council. Takes us to new business. Anything, Mr. McKinnon?
No, sir.
So question period. We'll go online first, if there's anything online.
Online attendees, if you would like to make a comment, please raise your hand or type your question in the chat. There are no takers online and there are no emails.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll go to the audience. Any questions from the audience pertaining to tonight's agenda?
Susan Sims, you didn't say it this nice. So I don't know whether this is appropriate or not, because usually you say that you can bring forth any comments or questions
Pertaining
in one
to,
meeting.
yeah, pertaining to tonight's agenda, yeah.
No. That you want to talk about at the next meeting now.
We haven't typically in the past, no. I would,
That you can send them in if you want them addressed at a meeting.
yes, absolutely. I would invite you to send, if you have something that you'd like us to address at the next meeting, by all means, you can email that in to the clerk.
So you can only email them in. You can't request it now to be discussed at another time.
We haven't typically done that, no.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, off to councilors' comments. Councilor Eden, I was looking right at you.
It wouldn't be without me having a comment. I just want to thank my fellow colleagues for a great 5 and 3 years that we've had together. It's been a learning experience for me. It's been wonderful for me. It's been hard for me, but it's all works out well. And I just would like to say thank you to the residents. Thank you to this council. Thank you to Deputy Mayor Kate Akagi. Thank you to Steve Neal for taking over, and a huge thank you for everybody who has participated in the last 5 years. And I want to say I wish the next council the very best of luck, and I hope that the work that has started will continue. And we look forward to having Mr. Neal as our mayor, and that is a great asset for the town. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Councillor Heenan. Anyone else?
I'll chime in. Thank you, Mayor Neal. Just to reiterate what my colleague was saying, but also to say how excited I am for the summer season. Just a couple of months ago, it looked pretty grim, but downtown right now, there's a bit of an electricity in the air. Everybody's getting fired up with the warm weather, and I think we're going to have a great season. So everybody should come to St. Andrews, and I'll see you in St. Andrews by the Sea. So thank you, and thank you to my colleagues, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Councillor Gumichel. Anyone else? Councillor Harlan.
I would also like to extend a thank you to CAO Spear and our clerk, Mac McKinnon. Really not on my, I'm not on my game tonight. As my colleague, Councillor Heenan has said, for me, this has been a tremendous learning curve, of which you have been very supportive. All of my emails, my questions have been welcomed and answered, and I have truly appreciated your support, as well as my colleagues around the table. I feel very privileged that I have an opportunity to participate in the next council going forward, and I look forward to that as well. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Anyone else? Councillor Bennett.
Thank you, Your Worship. I guess I'm in the same boat as the rest of the councillors here. I'd like to thank everybody who's made it easy for us to do what we do. Thanks for all the citizens who come up to you and bring their points of view to you. It certainly makes it a lot easier when it came to making decisions here at the table. And the staff, including the staff back in the office, which answer the phones and do what needs doing so that we look good here on TV. And of course, CHCO and the whole crew, especially Flo in the back, who's relentless behind the camera and makes everything happen and smooth here for council. So thank you very much for all your support, and I appreciate the help and look forward to seeing what the new council does in the future.
Thank you. I guess for myself, again, I was just going to thank everybody as well. The last 5 years has been a huge learning curve for myself. But again, working with all of you has been an absolute pleasure. And honestly, learning from you guys is what made it pretty easy for me to decide to run again. And that goes for staff as well. Again, they've been extremely supportive over the last year, I'm going to say, as I've gotten a little bit more involved and definitely helped me learn the ropes. So thank you to all of you. And again, I look forward to the new council as well and hope we can finish off a few of the unfinished items that I'd love to see us get completed. So thank you guys. All right. I don't believe we have anything for close this evening. So, okay. Okay. Okay, we can,
Closed.
pardon me? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you made a motion.
Yeah. motion to
Councillor
go
Wynn made a
close.
motion. Just need a seconder.
We need a seconder. Councillor Bennett. All those in favor of going to closed session? Okay. So we'll give ourselves a moment to get the tech shut down, and thank you to everybody in the audience as well. And Flo in the back.